what's going on, you guys? My name is Sebastian, and welcome to the very beginning of my automotive channel that I've so appropriately named the NeverEnding Project. Now, this channel is going to cater to all you car enthusiasts out there, new and old, as I know many of you are going to be able to relate to the fact that once we get started on our project cars, we end up with a laundry list of things, and it genuinely just never ends. Now, through the development of the channel, I am going to do my very best to teach you guys everything that I've learned through the years of wrenching. And we're also going to be doing a whole lot of learning since I've also got a list of really cool things I want to do with the project car that's currently sitting on jack stands behind me. Now, before any of that can happen, we actually have to get the car up and off the jack stands and running again. So to make things interesting, I registered for an autocross event in June. Right now we're sitting at the end of March. So that gives us about 2-ish months to get everything done and ready. So before we continue, I'm going to kind of give you guys a quick little tour of my workspace. Then we'll talk a little bit about the car, and then we'll finish off by talking about what we need to do to get the car up and running and hopefully ready for our first autocross event in June. All right, so here we are. Nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. It's a 2-stall garage, but more accurately, it's a generous 1-stall. It's all right though. I mean, I've got plenty of room to put all my stuff. My tools are normally here, but as you can see, they're kind of all over the place. So yeah, I've got a lot of cleaning up to do, but we'll get to that before the next episode. I've got a whiteboard that I bought. I'm going to be installing that probably somewhere around here. And then yeah, I'm just going to list off all the things that we got to do, and we'll just start crossing them off as we go. And it'll keep us on track, and it'll give us things to look forward to. So yeah, now onto the car. If you're not familiar with the car, it's a Mark I Audi TT. I personally love these cars. The interiors on these things are great. I personally think it's a really nice place to be. I feel like it's one of the last cars that Audi really kind of went above and beyond on the interior with. Everything just feels really solid. The door, even when it shuts, it makes a really nice thud. I removed actually these 2 vents. That's what they should look like. Both of these are Pro Sport digital gauges. This one's my AFR, this one's my boost. Anyway, it's got a fun little flap there with a sweet little tape drive. It's a 5-speed, and these were a 2+2. Not exactly sure why there's a back seat. Actually, I think it was for insurance purposes, but essentially it's just a 2-seater. Now, as far as the power plant on these things, yeah, see, hear that thud? Anyway, as far as the power plant on this thing, they came with a 1.8 liter. Mine came with a BorgWarner KO3, which was a very, very, very tiny turbo. And as you can see, it no longer has that very, very tiny little turbo. Not that this is giant by any means, but I put a Garrett GTX 2867 in it. Now mine's running 27 pounds of boost. It's sitting on a Unitronic custom tune. As far as what I've done to the block or the engine as a whole, I rebuilt the block completely, had it machined and everything from zero. I wanted it to be as reliable as possible, so I didn't reuse, or I ended up building another block on the side while I still drove mine, so I didn't reuse my own block, but I put connecting rods in it. And I ended up doing pistons, mainly because the block that I was using had tapered cylinder walls. So in order to get that all straightened out, we needed to bore it out about 20 thousandths of an inch. Sorry, it's getting kind of cold. I'm kind of twisting my tongue. Anyway, yeah, I had to bore it out by about 20 thousandths of an inch. So by default, I ended up needing to get new pistons. And then moving on to the cylinder head. Really, all I did to that was I replaced the exhaust valves. The stock valves are sodium filled, and once you start getting up to these high temperatures, when you start pushing the car, You can essentially crack them, you can drop a valve, and well, you're done. So outside of that, the rest of the engine's pretty robust. So really, if you're looking to get big power out of a 1.8 liter from either a Volkswagen or Audi, the only thing you really need to do as far as bulletproofing is doing your connecting rods. Anyway, moving on. The car's sitting on H&R coilovers. I believe these are the Street Performance. I did a bit of a brake upgrade up in the front. These are just Porsche Boxer non-S brake calipers. They're just 4 pistons by Brembo. And then I've otherwise got a stock rotor, or stock size rotor, and then 20 millimeter spacers in the front. And then in the rear, I've got 25 millimeter spacers, and as of right now, they're sitting on, I mean, it's not really sitting, but the wheels that I've currently got on them are 18 by 8s with 255s on them, which ride really nice and really sticky. I really had a lot of fun with it. As far as the exhaust, it's sitting over here, but it is a custom 3-inch. It's looking rather gross. Yeah. Those are all my fluids that have caked on there over the years. But yeah, it's just a 3-inch exhaust going all the way back, and I've only got 2 resonators in there. That one and that one there. But yeah, so I'll put a more descriptive list of just about everything that's been done to the car in the description box, and then I'll also link to my build thread on VW Vortex, which will have basically all the pictures and essentially everything I've done from beginning to mostly to end. It hasn't been updated in a few years, but for the most part it has just about everything up there up until about putting 16,000 miles on my motor. But yeah, so now we're gonna move on to why it's on jack stands in the first place, which is kind of a bit of a annoying story. So if we move over here, so this is my crankshaft, and as you can see, it's got 1, 2, 3 studs that we're gonna have to pull out. There we go, that's a better angle. So as far as what happened, I think it's a mixture of a few things. So once upon a time, I was driving home and there was a 3-ball hitch sitting in the middle of the road. It was late at night, and long story short, I wasn't able to clear it and I wasn't able to move out of the way in time. So I went over it, I trashed my transmission, it ripped my oil return line, and all in all, it was just a really big mess. Now my theory is that it was a combination of both the shock of hitting the 3-ball hitch, and then I'll actually show you here. So this is more of a recent, not really discovery, but I never really paid too much attention to it. But this was my clutch assembly. It's a Clutchmasters FX400. Now, if you've never seen what a manual transmission clutch looks like, this is essentially what they look like. This is the pressure plate. These are the forks that your throw-up bearing pushes on every time you push that clutch pedal. This is the clutch disc, and then this is the flywheel. So what I believe also happened was that, so as you can see, this is the flywheel side of the disc. That made a groove onto the flywheel, and that's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to make contact. This is an aftermarket Fidanza flywheel that was supposedly machined and designed to work with this Clutchmasters kit right here. Obviously that wasn't the case. This is something that I was unaware of happening, so I'm thinking that the vibrations essentially either made 3 of the bolts back out, which put the load on the other 3, which made them crack when I hit the hitch, or a combination of it all. You know, you never know, it could also be user error, but it is what it is. It already happened, it's done, and we have to fix it. As you can see, it was going on, you guys, I drove 16,000 miles with this thing on. So I have no idea when they started backing out. I have no idea when the damage began. Luckily, the extent of the damage is localized to the crankshaft, and then obviously the loss of my clutch assembly, which really sucked. But yeah, as you can see, I've got some material transfer going on right here too. So that is also on the crankshaft, which then leads to our next thing, which is what we're gonna have to do. So like I said, I gotta pull those 3 bolts out, or extract the studs out. And then I did a little bit of research and found a chemical called lye, which is going to burn off that aluminum transfer off of the steel. And luckily, it should not damage the crankshaft, and I'm really hoping that works, because if we damage the crankshaft or if we're unable to clean it off, we're not going to be able to seat our new flywheel on there, which is no good. I've already ordered the flywheel, I've received it, and the entire clutch setup. I've ordered new ARP flywheel bolts, and yeah, that's where it's going to leave us with the next episode. So we're not going to waste any more time, and we're just going to jump right into it with the next one. So with that said, you guys, thank you all so much for watching, and let's have some fun with this. I'm going to have some fun with this, so catch you guys in the next one.